And welcome back, everyone, to the Pokemon Team Creation Series. Last time we did someone. Now we're doing another one. But no, from was it Mystilix Devon, Rainbow Prism, and Nashris Hussein? The question of what is Sheldon Planktons Pokemon team? Do you like the image I used, by the way, for Plankton? Could just use the standard one, but no. Let's have him trapped in a bubble. I think that works great. Plankton proved to be a bit tricky. I'm not going to lie. In fact, at least one of them on in here, I could guarantee you could swap out. The other ones I feel relatively comfortable with, but you could definitely swap one of them out. Let's get started, though. And one of the defining traits of Plankton is he is small. That was one of the things that we saw him kind of just come to terms with. I can deny it no longer. I am small. I need someone big. And so I'm like, okay, what's the smallest? He's Plankton. There is no Plankton Pokemon, though. So what's the next best thing? What's the smallest Mon I can find to put on his team? And luckily, we got a little Gimmighoul here. Roaming form Gimmighoul, to be precise. Now, and this actually makes a lot of sense, that roaming form Gimmighoul, collecting coins, is scraping by to try to get all those coins for himself, whereas the chest form has all the coins, all the money. Hence why Mr. Krabs is a full chest Gimmighoul on his team, if you've seen my video. And Plankton maybe has only a couple of coins with his Gimmighoul. Now, unfortunately, because this is his starter, it's going to bring up something later about how well this team does that I'm going to have to make an exception to. It has no defense. The only thing it does have is some solid speed. It loses its defense and special defense as in favor of speed. Which, to be fair, at 80 base speed is pretty fast for an early stage Pokemon. So it's at least hitting the first, it's hitting whatever it goes up against. But then we go further. What is Plankton without his AI computer wife, Karen? So I go with Porygon Z anytime I usually have to go with an AI-based Pokemon. There just isn't really anything else out there that is a good representation of it. Plus, Karen has known to go on rampages before. So a glitchy Pokemon that's digital makes some sense. But Plankton is also very conniving and a thief. He is ultimately always trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula, which we do find out he did kind of help Krabs co-create it, but they had a falling out, and therefore he only ever took a little bit of the formula with him, hence why the only food, what he really serves at the Chum Bucket is Chum, because there's just a little bit of Chum in the Krabby Patty formula. So I need a Pokemon that can learn the move Thief. And luckily, let's try that again. Luckily, Thievul is one of the only Pokemon that naturally learns Thief. So I thought that was a good Mon to have on the team, just to represent that aspect of him. But you'll notice something on this team for a SpongeBob character. There's a lack of water. Now, luckily, we make up for that with the remaining half of the team. Starting out, I knew I needed a water Pokemon, and I knew I needed at least some sort of beef on the team. What I mean by that is something with heft, with some muscle power. Because Plankton, for all his small size, actually does have a lot of creativity and use of physical strength with machines, other individuals. So, right out the gate, Dondozo. Now, Dondozo actually serves a secondary purpose. Dondozo is based off a sous chef, hence the design of fins on its head makes it look like a chef, and its relationship to Tatsugiri. But I feel like he would want the Dondozo, A, for the sheer size of it, and B, to kind of represent the fact that he tries to find a cook as a lot of the times. I always liked Dondozo. Despite the fact that it really is just a very large catfish, I like the design quite a bit, and it is huge. I think it's the second longest Pokemon in existence. No, sorry, third longest behind Wailord, if I'm not mistaken. Wailord is like a foot longer than this thing. Dondozos are effing huge. And I used one on my first playthrough, and this thing has nuts beefiness to it. It is not a physical attacker, but it's got huge defense, a solid special move pool, and huge HP. Not very fast, not very specially tanky, but it is beefy, and it served me well in that playthrough. I love Dondozo, and it's got a great shiny too. The white Dondozo, I love it. I kept trying to spawn one in, but I never could. So anyway, then he needs some other muscle. Now, this one, I will admit, this is the one mon on the team I mentioned that you could probably sub out with something else for this. I'm actually having, but to be fair, I remember him using like bulldozing equipment and being able to get access to that. So I feel like this Pokemon, who is part rock, Dreadnought, could act as kind of his wrecking crew a little bit. And it's, again, pretty powerful Pokemon in terms of physical offense. Not very good in terms of its special defense or anything like that, or special offense. It's also pretty tanky, but it's a water grass type, which means a grass move kills this thing immediately. Last but not least, though, as I said about mechanics, he is known for creating just robots. Hell, Robo-Crabs is one of the most infamous things he's ever done. So I felt like some robot, something he could like theoretically possess and walk around in, works. I ultimately went with Iron Bundle. It is the closest I could find to matching up with some of the robots he's made in the past. It would be, as a Paradox Pokemon, it would be his ace in the hole, too. But on that note, how balanced is this team? Now, weakness-wise, it's not that bad off. It's got a 3 times weakness to fighting with the Dark, the Normal, and the Rock type. A 2 times weakness to Psychic with the... wait a minute, did I get that right? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at that wrong. A 2 times weakness to Grass with the 2 Water types, but Iron Bundle's Ice typing negates its weakness. However, 3 times weakness to Electric, bottom 3 right there, all Water. And a times 2 weakness to Steel with the Rock and Steel type. But the trade-off is it's got a times 2 strength against Ghost types with the Dark and the Ghost type. Times 2 strength against Psychic types with the 2 again. Times 3 strength against Fire, Rock, Ground types with the 3 Water types. And a times 2 strength against Flying with the Ice type and the Rock type. But, as I mentioned at the very beginning, there is an immediate problem with this. First off, despite the fact that it has stats, you can't play in the game with this Gimmighoul. So we don't really know how good it is in battle, but we can assume it's frail as F. It's got a good offense, like I think it's like 75 special offense, special attack, and it's got good speed at 80. But if it gets hit, you'll be lucky to survive one shot, because it's just not a tanky Pokemon at all. It is literally a glass cannon, not even a very good one. So the real sad truth is, if we're just going by how I normally do this, he wouldn't get past any of the first gym leaders. Like, it's just none. Done. End of story. But that's no fun. So let's use a hypothetical where he because I know Gimmighoul's learn Astonish, and that can flinch. So let's just say he gets lucky, flinches all of them on in the first gym leaders roster, and then goes to the second gym in each region. Okay. So then how well can he do? The unfortunate answer is still not very well. The region he can do the best in is Kanto, because he's not going to struggle really that hard until he gets to Erica. Unfortunately, Erica, even though he's got Porygon Z, who's got decent stats, it's a fully evolved Pokemon, 3-stage, a special tank, and Thievul isn't god-awful. Dondozo's going down to a Grass-type gym. Porygon doesn't naturally learn any moves that are good against grass. If anything, it learns electric-type moves naturally, which begs the question why it's not normal electric. But regardless. And Thievul is just, yeah. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's impossible, but it's not. It does not look good. And then, honestly, it's a straight-out dogfight for the rest of the region. Koga, you're neither strong nor weak against. But the problem is, Koga, you're not going to have your full team. You're not going to have Iron Bundle. Gimmighoul goes down quick. And then you're struggling against a tanky Muck, Weezing, Golbat. I think there was like one other mon on his team. You're struggling against all of that. Then you got to go into Sabrina, who, while yes, you have a Gimmighoul, that thing's who's a ghost type, it's still a Gimmighoul without even its defenses. So goes down quick. Thievul can only put up so much of a fight. Its stats aren't that good. So now you're dealing with all of Sabrina's Pokemon against your current team. Not impossible, because again, Dondozo is tanky as hell. Iron Bundle's got great stats, probably a higher stat than anything she's got, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a cakewalk. If you manage those, though, Blaine, no issue. You got 3 water types, should be able to handle it. Giovanni, no problem. Lorelei, surprisingly not really a big issue. You can handle ice types without too much difficulty with Dreadnought. Well, ice resists. I can't remember. I think ice does resist. Is resisted by water. And she's got water type moves, and you can learn electric moves with Porygon Z. But this is where I think you stop at Bruno, because Bruno can take out 3 of your Mon without even trying. And Bruno's not that good. But because he specializes in fighting, and 3 of your major hitters are very weak to fighting, you are in trouble. The only thing that can really kind of do much is Dondozo. And as a matter of fact, I actually made a mistake here. It's like you have a ×4 weakness to fighting, not a ×3. Because I'm now looking over this, I'm like, how did I forget that that Iron Bundle is also weak to fighting? Yeah, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, how did I mess that up? Either way, yeah, so that leaves you with a Gimmighoul who's immune, but won't be able to fight the Onyxes. And a Dondozo, which can't really put in all the work itself. It'll take down the Onyxes no problem, but good luck. I mean, I'm not saying it'd be impossible, but it's not likely. And then you guys still deal with Agatha, who's got ghost types and ghost and poison types. And then you got to deal with Lance, who the only thing you've really got an advantage with is Iron Bundle, who will eventually go down. It's not infallible. And then even if you did manage that, which I don't think you will, you got to then deal with Blue, who starts out with Pidgeot. You'd Gimmighoul go down, then go into a Porygon Z, who can use electrical moves on it, but then he goes into Alakazam, which outspeeds pretty much everything on the team. Probably either takes down Porygon Z or comes close to it. Got to bring out Thievul just to survive. Then he's also got Rhydon. Now, Rhydon you'll be able to take down, and any fire type he has you'll be able to take down. The problem is, he also has a grass type with whatever, either Executor or a starter, and he's got just a standard water type with a starter or Gyarados. So, is it possible? Maybe. If you get all the way to Blue, you could beat Blue. I would give you like a 20% chance at best. But the fact is, I just don't think you're getting past Bruno. Now, when it comes to Johto, honestly, you stop at Chuck. Again, assuming we are getting past the first gym, you actually won't really struggle that much with Bugsy because Scyther is a flying type as well as a bug type. So you should actually be able to manage to just keep Thunder Shocking all your way through. When Whitney, going to be difficult, but not impossible. Again, Milk Tank is just very rounded out, but you could manage it, certainly. Then Dondozo comes out, shouldn't be a problem. But then you get Chuck. And unfortunately, at that point, you don't have Delibird, Iron Bundle yet, who would still be weak to fighting. But you have Primeape and you have Poliwrath. Your water-type moves are jack all against the Poliwrath. And all your mods, save for Gimmighoul and Dondozo, are weak to fighting. And again, Dondozo can really only do so much on its own. It's tanky, and it's got some good offense, but it can only do so much on its own. And this is this guy who's just prepping up Dondozo, saying, I don't think it can get through it on its own. Even if it could, you then got to deal with a Steel-type gym leader who also has Electric-type Pokemon. You're not doing well. So, no, you stop either at Chuck or Jasmine at the latest. What about Hoenn? Honestly, you're not getting past Brawly. Because, now, to be fair, Brawly, if I remember correctly, Brawly might, mind you, not have anything to deal with that Gimmighoul. I have to check real quick if any of the Mon he has know or can use Foresight or anything like that. I'm just going to look at his Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire team real quick here. Let's see here. There we go. So Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I got to find Brawly's team here. Did any of these guys have Foresight or a non-fighting type move under their belt? Okay, Seismic Karate Chevalier. Okay, wait. Nope, knockoff. Makuhita knockoff. And a Gimmighoul. So, yeah, that's a no-go, because the Gimmighoul goes down immediately. And so then you're just left with, no, we're doing this again. We are doing this again, really? Every time. Like, I try to go check Cerebi, and the damn screen just pauses on me. The video just pauses. Well, no, the video is still going right now. I've got more to talk about, so eventually it's going to correct itself out here. It's just really, really irritating. Okay, there we go. Come on, bring it back, and there we are. God, I hate when that happens. So anyway, yeah, you won't be able to get past Brawly. End of story. Because you have a normal type Porygon Z. It gets hit more than at least once, you're done. Because it's not that tanky. It's relative. I wouldn't say frail, but it's not that strong. Sinnoh, you're not getting past Gardenia. Grass resists electricity, which would be the really only useful move you have on the Porygon at the moment. And she's got Roserade and Cherubi, and she's got a 3-man team and a pretty effective one too. And Gimmighoul goes down quick, so you're not getting past Gardenia. Unova, you don't get past Lenora because those Watchog have either bite or leer, or bite or crunch on them. And then you're not getting past Roxy just because poison stat and all that. Or poison level, and you have a near fully evolved Pokemon on the team. Stat-wise can compete with it. You can't do it. Not that team. Kalos, you'd make it to Karina, and then you'd stop dead. I'm not saying it'd be easy to beat Grant, but with Porygon, because it's level 25, his team, you would at least have better stats at that point and a decent solid special attack. It's not impossible, but not entirely likely. So Thievul, and Porygon and Thievul are weak to fighting. Ghost types don't matter because her team does have moves that can hit ghost types, so you're not getting past that. Then Galar comes, and honestly, what was it? Kobu or Kabu? Sorry, Kabu. You do not get past Kabu. Because he has Ninetales, Arcanine, and Centiskorch. Centiskorch being a bug type as well means your Thievul's done. All three of them are heavy-hitting fire Pokemon. It's amazing. If you had just one of the water Pokemon, this would have been different to start with, but nope. And then last but not least, you're probably not even getting past Brassius because he's a Grass-type gym leader. So yeah, you can't become champion with any of these. The closest one you can get to is Kanto. If I were to just be kind, just go all the way to the champion, could you still win? You're not beating Lance. His Dragonites are just going to completely decimate you. This team's no good. You only got one Mon that's good against Dragon. It's one. And honestly, the Dragonite's still outstat it. Plus, you still got Charizard, Aerodactyl, and Gyarados on the team. Yeah, no, you're not beating Lance. Steven, Steel Rock type, which means unfortunately the Iron Bundle and the Dreadnought are pretty much kaputs. Yeah, I mean, you could take down maybe the Aggron or the Claydol, maybe the Aggron, and the Armaldo. Pretty all right. But then you guys still deal with the Skarmory, you still got to deal with the Metagross, and you still got to deal with the Lileep. The Lileep was going to cause havoc. So much havoc. So nope, you couldn't do that. Cynthia, that is a bit of a joke. Cynthia, Spiritomb takes down the Porygon, takes down the Gimmighoul. It has Dark type moves to handle the Porygon Z, so it has non-ghost moves. Eventually, you might take it down, but it's going to cost you at least 2 Mon. Then she's got Roserade, which can sweep nearly all this team on its own. Lucario to handle the Iron Bundle. So yeah, nope, not happening. Alder, you don't have any strength against the bug type. In fact, you're actually strong against his Volcarona. Or weakness, I should say, against the bug type. The problem is you're not strong against bugs either. As a matter of fact, one of your Mon is actually weak to bug. So, and it's not that I say that because he's kind of sort of a bug specialist, but not. And then you still got to deal with the Selgor, which outspeeds everything on the team. Dreadnought maybe can handle that. The Excavalier, which is stronger than, physically speaking, than anything on the team. Then you guys still deal with the Druddigon, which at least the Iron Bundle in theory can handle. But then the Buffalont just hits like a tank. You're not beating Alder. And let's just get out of the way. You're not beating Iris. Yeah, you got one Ice type. One that can do something. That's it. So what about Diantha? Starts with Hawlucha, but it knows X-Scissors, so your Gimmighoul goes down. Then you've got to make a choice of what the hell comes out next. Because it's a flying fighting type. The only Mon you have left on the team that isn't inherently weak to that is Dondozo. So that would probably have to be the move. And even then, that thing's still taking hits. And so even if it brings down the Hawlucha, you're down one of your beefiest guys. Then her play is always to bring out the Tarantrum. Because it's part dragon, it's going to resist water, so it makes it neutral. So it's going to probably take down the Dondozo. You're then going to probably have to deal with using the Delibird to bring it down. But then she's going to bring out, because again, it's how she runs. She's going to bring out the Aurorus, which using water should take it down. But then if she brings out the Goodra, probably. And Goodra can still tank a hit. So I have a feeling if their Delibird doesn't go down there, it will eventually go down. Or I keep saying Delibird, but Iron Bundle, which still leaves you a 3-mon to her weakened 3-2, roughly. You'd bring out Porygon Z, maybe, to just use some special moves to take down the Goodra. Then comes out the Gourgeist. You'd have to switch into the Thievul. It's probably taking a hit. Thievul would struggle against that thing for a while, but hopefully take it down. And then Mega Gardevoir comes out, and you just don't have an answer for that at that point. Whatever you did have an answer for, it's gone. And you didn't even have a real answer to begin with. So, no, Diantha, you could not become champion. What about Leon? Aegislash already Aegislash. Enough said. Because you have no answer you have one answer for ghost types, and that's Thievul. I mean, Gimmighoul, sure, but let's be honest, it's Thievul. And that's not even going to take down Aegislash in one hit. So you're going to have to use something else to take it down, risk it, and then freaking Dragabolt's going to come out. Being a dragon type means it resists everything save for any ice moves from the Iron Bundle. And if the Iron Bundle comes out, it does freaking Thunderbolt. So it's not good. It's sweeping the whole team. And then finally there's Geeta, who has always had a weird team. I got to remember what it comes out for. Okay, it's her last Pokemon's always Glimmora. I think it goes in reverse order. It goes Glimmora, Avalugg, Veluza, or is it Pathra that comes out? Because she always did like her King Gambit third, which I find odd. First off, that should have been her ace, and second off, you bring that out last. So I think she starts off with a Pathra, which your Gimmighoul can get a hit in and then done. So you bring out Thievul. They're relatively even for, I mean, not even, but Thievul could take down the Pathra. So then what comes out? The Go-Goat, I'd imagine. And Go-Goat probably would be able to take that down. Unfortunately, Go-Goat's a problem, so you're going to have to bring out your your Iron Bundle to use ice moves on it to take it down. Then King Gambit comes out. Supreme Overlord is not even used to its full ability, and yet it still would wreck the remaining of this team's shop. Kowtow Cleaver alone, even though it doesn't have a type advantage, is very powerful. I believe, let me actually get her team up real quick here. At the risk of lagging again real quick here, let me get Geeta's, I think it's because I had more than one, like 2 tabs open, but let me get Geeta's team up here real quick. All right, where are you, Geets? Where are you, Jeets? But no, where are you, Geets? All right, Geeta's team. Let's see here now. There we are, Elite 4. Okay, so what do you mean the site can't be reached? Up, get your shit together. There we go. All right, so Geeta, Okay, she starts. I think that's not the order, but her King Gambit has Kowtow Cleaver, Zen Headbutt, Stone Edge, and Iron Head, which means it's taking down your Iron Bundle and then taking down the rest of the team. That's basically it. There is no middleman on this. So, it's just no bueno, no good. But, again, it kind of fits Plankton's motif. Like, he struggles, he tries, he sometimes gets a little success, and then he just fails. That does kind of fit Plankton a little bit too well. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Till then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you folks for the next one. Later.